Hello my dear friends, how are you all? I hope you all are good and fantastic. So my dear friends, today we are going to discuss our lecture number 4 of surface areas and volume. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope you will enjoy this lecture. So without wasting the time, let's start. Yes, so my dear friends, today we are going to discuss volume of combined solid. Okay, my dear friends. So, my dear friends, in this lecture, we have a combined solids, okay, and we have to find their volume. So, how to find that? So, my dear friends, in the volume of combination of solid concept, we will come across the different solids and their respective volumes. Okay, my dear friends, and we all know all three dimension shapes have surface areas and volume based on their dimensions. Okay, now my dear friends, if you see in a real life, there are many shapes that are formed by the combining different shapes. Okay, let's suppose a tent. A tent is formed by the combination of a cone and a cylindrical shape. Similarly, an ice cream cone is what? It is the combination of cone and a hemisphere. Okay, like this, as you can see, this is in the reverse. Okay, so there are a lot of examples which we can see in our daily life. Hence the volume of combination of solid is equal to the sum of individual solid, like this is equal to the sum of individual solid, like v is equals to v1 plus v2 plus, if we have more than two solids, then we have to add their volume also. Okay, so now let's suppose we have a figure like this. This is similar to the ice cream cone. Okay. Yes. So we can find the volume of the solid figure like this, as volume of solid is equals to volume of cone plus, here is the part of what? This is the part of hemisphere. So volume of hemisphere. Okay. So now my dear friends, and we know that the volume of cone is what? Volume of cone is 1 upon 3 pi r square h. What is? Yes, pi r square h. This is the 1/3 of the volume of cylinder. Plus volume of hemisphere is 2 upon 3 pi r cube. This is the half of the volume of sphere. Okay, so now if we solve this, we get, now my dear friends, here we can take 1 upon 3 pi r square as a common, and the remaining part is, here is h plus here is 2r. Okay, so now what is h? So we have h is 5 centimeter. What is r? We have r is 3 centimeter. Okay, r of the cone and r of this hemisphere is same. Okay, so now 1 upon 3 into pi into r is 3 into 3, 3 square, and 5 plus 2 into 3. So my dear friends, in the numerator there are 2 3, and in the denominator there are 1 3, so we can cancel 1 3. So we get 3 pi into, here is 2 into 3 6, and 6 plus 5 11. If we multiply 3 into 11, we get 33 pi centimeter cube. Okay, we know that the unit of the volume is always in cubic meter or centimeter. Okay, so now my dear friends, this is the volume of combined solid. This is the volume of what? Combined solid. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. So this is the method to solve the volume of the combined solid. Okay, so now let's do some problems. Okay, yes, so the question number 1 is, Rachel, an engineering student, okay, was asked to make a model shaped like a cylinder with two cones attached at its two ends by using a thin aluminum sheet. Okay, so the diameter of the model is 3 centimeter and its length is 12 centimeter. If each cone has a height of 2 centimeter, find the volume of air contained in the model. that Rachel met. Okay, my dear friends. Now assume the outer and inner dimension of the model to be nearly the same. So now let's start the solution. So my dear friends, according to question, our diagram is look like this. According to question, we have a cylinder. And two cones which are attached at the corners of the cylinder. Okay, so now my dear friends, the total distance of this container is what? Is 12 centimeter. Is 12 centimeter. And the height of each cone is 2 centimeter, means this distance is 2 centimeter and this distance is 2 centimeter. Okay, so the distance of height of cylinder is what? Height of cylinder is, if we subtract 2 and 2 means 4 from the 12 centimeter, so we get what? We get the height of the cylinder. Okay, and it is saying that the diameter of the model is 3 centimeter. So the diameter is what? Total diameter is 3 centimeter. So the radius is 1.5 centimeter. Okay, my dear friend. So now we have to find the volume of the air container. Okay, yes, let's start. So what is the volume of the container? Volume of the solid is equals to volume of cones plus volume of cylinder. And we have two cones. So now my dear friends, here we have to put the formula of volume of cones and volume of cylinder. And we know that the volume of cones is what? 1 upon 3 pi r square h. Here is two cones, so we have to multiply by 2. And this will become 1 upon 3 pi r square h. And this h is what? This h is height of cone. Radius of cone and radius of cylinder is same. Okay. Plus here is pi r square h, and this h is what? This h is of cylinder. So we get, now we can take pi r square as a common, so pi r square, and the remaining part is 2 upon 3 h of cone plus h of cylinder. Okay, yes. So now we have the radius is 1.5 square and 2 upon 3. Height of cone is 2 plus height of cylinder is 8. Okay, yes. So now if you solve this, we get pi into 1.5 square into, this will become 4 upon 3 plus 8. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So now if we solve this, we get 1.5 square into, here is 4 plus 24 upon 3 if we take LCM as a 3. Okay, so now pi into 1.5 square into 28 upon 3. What is? Yes, 28 upon 3. If we expand this, we get pi into 2.25 into 28 upon 3. Okay, so my dear friends, if we solve this, we get volume is pi into 63 upon 3. Okay, so this will divided by 21 times, so we get pi into 21. So what is the value of pi? 22 upon 7, and this is 21. This will be cancelled by 3 times, so we get volume of solid is 66 centimeter cube. So this is our final answer. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. Yes, so my dear friends, the next question is, a gulab jamun contains sugar syrup up to about 30% of its volume. Find approximately how much syrup would be found in 45 gulab jamuns. Okay, each shaped like a cylinder with two hemispherical ends with length 5 centimeter and diameter 2.5 centimeter. Okay, so my dear friends, according to question 25, we have to find the volume of the syrup of the 25 gulab jamun. Okay, and each gulab jamun is in the shape of a cylinder and two hemispherical figures at the end. Okay, with length 5 centimeter and diameter is 2.8 centimeter. Okay, so my dear friends, if we draw the diagram of one gulab jamun, we get like this. So this is the diagram of one gulab jamun. So the total distance is 5 centimeter. Okay, my dear friends, diameter is 2.8 centimeter. I hope you get this point. So now, my dear friend, so the radius is 1.4 centimeter. So from here is also there is 1.4 centimeter. This is what? This is radius of hemisphere. Okay, so radius of hemisphere and cylinder is same. So the distance of or height of cylinder is what? If we subtract 1.4 and 1.4 from 5, we get what? Yes, we get height of the cylinder. Okay, so which is 2.2 centimeter. So now let's find the volume. So volume of solid is volume of cylinder. Okay, volume of hemisphere. Okay, so the volume of the solid is what? If we add volume of cylinder and volume of two hemisphere, then we get this volume, then we get this entire volume. Okay, so what is the volume of cylinder? We know that this is pi r square h. And what is the volume of hemisphere? We know that this is 2/3 pi r cube. And here is two volumes, so we have to multiply by 2. Okay, here h is what? Height of cylinder. Okay, yeah, so now we have to put the values. So from this r is common, so we can take pi r square as a common. So here is pi r square and we get h plus here is 4/3 r. Okay, now put the values. So we get pi into, we have the r. R is what? 1.4. So here is 1.4 square. Okay, my dear friends. And height we have 2.2 plus 4/3 into 1.4. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. So my dear friends, if you solve this, we get what? We get volume of solid is what? Yes, it is 25.05 centimeter cube. Okay, so this is what? This is the volume of one gulab jamun. This is the volume of one gulab jamun. Okay, and we know that what is? Yes, volume of sugar syrup is volume of sugar syrup is equals to what? 30% of total volume. 30% of total volume. Okay, so volume of sugar syrup in 45 gulab jamun is what? Yeah, so volume of sugar syrup in 45 gulab jamun is equals to 45 into 30% into volume of one gulab jamun, which is 25.05. Okay, I hope you get this point. So this will become 45 into 30 upon 100 into 25.05. Okay, if you solve this, we get 338.184 centimeter cube. So this is our required answer. So this is the volume of sugar syrup in 45 gulab jamun. In what? Yes, 45 gulab jamun. So my dear friend, this is the method to solve this question. I hope you understand this method. So now let's move on to the next question. Yeah, so my dear friends, question number 3 is a pen stand made of wood is in the shape of a cuboid with 4 conical depressions to hold pens. Okay. So the dimensions of the cuboid are 15 centimeter, 10 centimeter and 3.5 centimeter. And the radius of each of the depressions is 0.5 centimeter. And the depth is 1.4 centimeter. Find the volume of wood in the entire stand. So my dear friends, we have a pen stand of wood is in the shape of cuboid. Okay, and in cuboid there are 4 conical shape holes like this, and the radius of each cone is 0.5 centimeter and depth is means height is 1.4 centimeter. Now we have to find the volume of this wood of the entire stand. Okay, so let's find that. So my dear friends, we know that volume of cuboid is what? It is length into breadth into height. We know very well. Okay, now we know that the dimensions of this. So length is 15 centimeter, breadth is 10 centimeter and height is 3.5 centimeter. So now put the values in this volume. So volume of cuboid is 15 into 10 into 3.5. This will become 525 centimeter cube. Okay, this is in cubic centimeter. Yes, so now here is depression are like cones, and we know volume of cone is what? Volume of cone is 1 upon 3 pi r square h. 1 upon 3 pi r square h. So now in this we have radius which is equals to 0.5 centimeter and height which is 1.4 centimeter. Now put the values in this. So we get volume of 4 cone which is equals to 4 into 1 upon 3 into pi r square h. Okay my dear friends. So now 4 upon 3 into 22 upon 7 into 0.5 into 0.5 into 1.4. Okay, so now if we solve this, we get 1.46 centimeter cube. Yeah, so now my dear friends, volume of wood which is equals to volume of cuboid minus 4 into volume of cone means volume of 4 cone. So now what is the volume of cuboid? Which is equal to what? 525. So we have, yes, volume of, yes, volume of wooden part means wood which is equals to 525 minus volume of 4 cone we have 1.46. So this will become 523.54 centimeter cube. So this is our correct answer. I hope, my dear friends, you understand these things. Okay. Okay, so now let's move to the next question. The next question is, a vessel is in the form of an inverted cone. A vessel is in the form of inverted cone. Its height is 8 centimeter and radius of its top, which is open, is 5 centimeter. Okay, and it is filled with water up to the brim. When lead shots, each of which is a sphere of radius 0.5 centimeter, are dropped into the vessel. Okay, so 1/4 of the water flows out. Find the number of lead shots dropped in the vessel. Okay, my dear friends. So, my dear friends, this question states that we have a inverted cone and height is what, 8 centimeter and radius is 5 centimeter, which is open from the top. Okay, now it is filled with water. It is filled with water up to the brim, means up to the full length, up to the upper part. Yes, when lead shots, which is in spheres of radius 0.5 centimeter, are dropped into the vessel. After dropping this, 1/4 of water flows out. Okay, so now, my dear friends, we have to find the number of lead shots dropped in the vessel. How many lead shots which is dropped in the water. Okay, so now, my dear friends, we have a figure like this. We have a inverted cone like this, and the height is 8 centimeter and radius is what, 5 centimeter. Radius is what, 5 centimeter. Okay, so now for cone we have radius is 5 centimeter and height is 8 centimeter. Okay, and for sphere, this is for cone, and for sphere radius is 0.5 centimeter. This is for sphere. Okay, my dear friends. Yes, so volume of cone is 1/3 pi r square h. Okay, and we have 1/3 into pi into radius is what, 5 square, height is 8. Okay, my dear friends, so now if we solve this, we get, so this will become 1/3 into pi into 25. 5 square is what, 25, and 25 into 8, 200. So this is 200/3 pi centimeter cube. So this volume of cone, this volume is equals to what? Is equals to volume of water in the cone. Volume of water in the cone. Okay, so my dear friends, total volume of water overflow. Total volume of water overflow. What is this? Is 1/4 into volume of water in cone, which is equals to 1/4 into 200/3 into pi. So this will become 50/3 pi. Okay, so this is the volume of water flow. Okay, so now, my dear friends, this is equals to what? So now volume of lead shot is what? Volume of lead shot is 4/3 pi r cube. Okay, and we know 4/3 into pi. What is the value of r? 0.5 whole cube. If we solve this, we get 1/6 pi. 1/6 pi. Now the number of lead shot is what? Number of lead shot, which is equals to total volume of total volume of water overflow divided by what? Divided by volume of lead shot. So this will become 50 upon 3 pi divided by 1 upon 6 pi. This pi and this pi will be cancelled. So we get 50 upon 3 into 6 upon 1 into 6 upon 1, and this 6 will be cancelled from 3 by 2 times. So we have 100. So total is what? Total lead shot is 100. This is our answer. Total lead shot is 100. So my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. So this is the question. So my dear friends, if you understand the concept of the question, so you can easily do the question without any problem. Okay. So now let's move to the next question. So the next question is, my dear friends, a spherical glass vessel has a cylindrical neck, is 8 cm long and 2 cm in diameter. The diameter of spherical part is 8.5 cm. Okay. By measuring the amount of water it holds, a child finds its volume to be 345 cm cube. Okay. And we have to check whether she is correct or not. Okay. Taking the above as the inside measurements, and we have to take the value of pi is 3.14. So according to question, we have a figure like this. We have a figure like this. So the upper part, so the neck is what? Is in cylindrical shape, and the lower part is in spherical shape. Okay, my dear friends. So the part in the cylindrical part, height is what? 8 cm and diameter is 2 cm. So from this we can say that radius is 1 cm, and radius of this spherical part is what? 4.25 cm, because we have diameter which is 8 cm. So the half of this is 4.25 cm. Okay, my dear friend, I hope you understand this thing. So now my dear friends, we have for cylindrical part, height h is what? 8 cm, and radius capital R is what? 2 upon 2 means 1 cm. Okay. And for spherical part, which is what? Radius we have 8.5 upon 2, we get 4.25 cm. Okay, my dear friends. So now volume of this vessel. Volume of vessel is equals to volume of cylinder plus volume of sphere. Okay, my dear friends. So we know that volume of cylinder is pi r square h plus volume of sphere is 4 upon 3 pi r cube. Okay, now put the value. So we get pi, r is we have 1 into h is 8 plus 4 upon 3 pi into radius is what? 4.25 whole cube. So after solving this equation, we get 346.51 centimeter cube. So this is our answer of this question. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. So this is the method to solve these type of question. So they are very easy questions. Okay, we have to just find the volume of the individual figure, and according to question we have to solve this. Okay, so now let's move to the next question. Yes, so the next question is, the outer dimension of a closed wooden box are 10 centimeter by 8 centimeter by 7 centimeter. Okay, and the thickness of the wood is 1 centimeter. Find the total cost of wooden required to make box if 1 centimeter cube of wood cost 2 rupees. Means 1 centimeter of wood cost is what? 2 rupees. Okay, my dear friend. Yeah, so first of all, the external dimension of the box are the external dimension of the box are what? We have length is 10 centimeter, breadth is 8 centimeter according to the question, and height is what? 7 centimeter. Length, breadth and height we have. Okay, so external volume is what? External volume in this case external volume is L into B into H, so 10 into 8 into 7, this will give 560 centimeter cube. Okay, now my dear friends, we have to find the internal length, breadth and height. So the thickness is what? Thickness is 1 centimeter. So my dear friends, of wood is equals to 1 centimeter. Okay, so now my dear friends, the internal length is what? Internal length is, we have to subtract from length means 10 from 10 which is 2 centimeter, because let's suppose this is a square and we have to find the internal length. So if thickness is 1 and here is also 1, so we have to subtract 2. Okay, so from both the side, so this will give 2 centimeter. Okay, so this is equals to 8 centimeter. Okay, my dear friends, and now internal breadth. Internal breadth is 8 minus 2 which is 6 centimeter, and internal height 7 minus 2 which is 5 centimeter. Now we can find what? Yes, we can find internal volume. Internal volume which is equals to 8 into 6 into 5 is equals to 240 centimeter cube. Okay, my dear friend. So now volume of wood, external volume minus internal volume, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 560 minus 240. Okay, if we solve this we get 320 centimeter cube. Now this is the volume of wood. Now total cost of wood required to make box. We know that for 1 centimeter cube the cost is what? 2 rupees. So for 320 centimeter cube the cost is what? 320 into 2. So we get rupees 640. So this is our result. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. Yes, so the next question is, the dimensions of a rectangular box are in the ratio 2:3:4, and the difference between the cost of covering it with sheet of paper at the rate of 8 rupees. Okay, and 9.5 rupees per meter square, which is rupees 1248. Find the dimension of the box. Okay, my dear friends. So my dear friend, let's start solving the question. Let the dimension of the rectangular box. Rectangular box are what? 2x, 3x and 4x. Okay, my dear friend, these are in meter. Okay, so now surface area is what? Surface area means TSA. We know that 2 into LB plus BH plus HL, which is equals to 2 into, we have L is what? 2x and breadth is 3x plus breadth is 3x and height is 4x plus height is 4x and length is 2x. Okay, this is it. So if we solve this, we get 52x square. What is? Yes, 52x square. Yes, so now my dear friends, cost of covering the box with sheet of paper at the rate of rupees 8, which is per meter square. So what is the cost? So the cost is, if we multiply 52x square by 8, which is equals to what? Is equal to rupees 416x square. Okay, now my dear friends, cost of covering the box with sheet of paper at the rate of rupees 9.5 per meter square. So what is? Same, 52x square multiply 9.5, which is equals to rupees 494x square. So this is the rupees. So now the difference is, we have different of these costs, difference of these costs. We have what? We have rupees 1248. Okay, and here is, and we have 494x square minus 416x square, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 1248. So from this we can easily find the value of x square. How? Let's see that. Okay, if we subtract it, we get 78x square. We get what? 78x square, and here is, we have 1248, and if we divide it, we have x square is equals to 1248 divided by 78. So this will give x square is equals to what? 16. So now we have x is equals to 4. Yeah, so the value of x is what? 4. So from this we can find the dimension. So we have length is what? 2x. So now here is 2 into 4, so this will be 8 centimeter. Okay, and we have breadth is what? We have breadth is 3x, which is equals to 3 into 4 means 12 centimeter. And we have height is what? Height is 4x, which is equals to 4 into 4, which is equals to 16 centimeter. So my dear friends, this is our required answer. I hope you understand this question. Okay, so now my dear friends, let's move to the next question. So the next question is, my dear friend, a solid cube is cut into two cuboids of equal volume. Okay, find the ratio of the total surface area of the given cube and that of one of the cuboids. Okay, my dear friends. So now, my dear friends, first of all, let the side of the solid cube is equals to a unit. Okay, now my dear friends, cube is cut into two cuboids of equal volume. Cube is cut into two cuboid of equal volume. So therefore, dimension of each cuboid are, length is what? Length is a unit, breadth is a unit, but height is a upon 2 units. Okay, so now my dear friends, surface area of cube, which is represented capital as, which is equals to 6a square. Okay, and this is square units. Okay, and surface area of one cuboid, which is represented as S1, which is equals to, we know that the formula is what? 2 into LB plus BH plus HL. Okay, now put the values of L, B and H in this equation. So we get, so S1 become, this is 2 into A plus A into A upon 2 plus A upon 2 into A. So this is equals to 4A square units. Okay my dear friends. So now we have to find the what? We have to find the ratio of the total surface area of the given cube and that of one of the cuboid, means S upon S1, which is equals to 6a square upon 4a square. Okay, and this a square will be cancelled, and from this 6 can be divided by 2 how many times? 3 times, and 4 can be cancelled divided by 2 how many times? 2 times. So we have 3 upon 2. So my dear friend, S ratio S1 is 3:2. So this is our correct answer. Okay my dear friends, so this is the method to solve this question. So my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. Okay, so now this is enough for today, and we will meet in the next lecture with the next amazing topic. Okay my dear friend, so thank you very much for listening me, and take care and goodbye.